Recently, a friend of mine saw my desk setup and asked me, are Orbitkey products actually worth the money, or are they just overhyped and overpriced? I gave them a simple answer, but as time has gone on, I've been sitting on whether or not it was the right one. About 10 months ago, Orbitkey actually sent me a few products to try out. When they reached out to me, I thought about it for a while. And the reason why is because I'm not in the habit of accepting things just to have them. I've rejected plenty of collaborations because they weren't products that I would actually use, or they were things that would end up as clutter. But Orbitkey was different. I was actually interested. What pushed me over the edge was that they said that there were zero obligations to create anything included in the art file, that it was just a gift. But after months of using these products, I'm here to talk about it. I don't think it's fair to accept something and not deliver in return. And I also don't want them to think that I was taking advantage of them or ruin these types of opportunities for anyone else, because that's just not me. And to be upfront, I already owned some Orbitkey gear before this. I've had their original large desk mat for just over 2 years now. And eventually I realized that that was too big for my desk, so I had side graded to the slim desk mat. It just made more sense at the time. And the large one actually went to my wife because her work mat was starting to fall apart anyway. But then when they reached out, they offered me their new large mat and I accepted. They also sent me 2 other items. One I had been eyeing already and another that I probably would have never bought myself. So, are they worth it? I think that the answer is a little bit more nuanced than someone might expect. Let's start with the desk mat because that's the one that I've actually had the longest. I've had my original desk mat for just over 2 years, like I said, and over a year on my slim one, and just over 10 months for the large desk mat that they've sent me. And honestly, the thing that surprises me about all of them is that there's no peeling, no wear, no damage. They all still look almost as new. Isn't that freaking crazy? Seriously, for something that costs around 150 Australian dollars, I know that most people's reaction is that it's too expensive. And I get that. But honestly, every other mat that I've ever had across the years, over decades, has fallen apart and been damaged within 6 months. This one hasn't. I know that some people might find this one a little bit weird because it's a vegan leather top over recycled felt base. But that just means that it's a green product and that's great. It's durable, easy to clean, and sometimes I throw stuff on it like an idiot, and my desk is hardwood, so it easily gets dented. Thankfully, this protects my desk and it looks great. I think it helps create a workspace that actually feels good to sit at, which matters more than people give it credit for. A well thought out workspace is better for your mental health. It does have a magnetic cable rail built into the edge, either on the top on the large mat or on the side for the slim, and it works. I'd personally prefer an option to choose which side it sits on, I guess like the slim. But I think that would make it unsustainable because then you'll need to create a left and a right side version of the mat, and that's not economical, is it? It's honestly a small issue for me though. And it doesn't change the fact that it's actually doing what it's designed to do. It's built well and it does the job and it keeps on doing it. They also sent me the Nest, which is the product that I was personally eyeing already. Honestly, I love this one, but the issue is that I work from home almost exclusively and my gear lives on my desk. So there's no reason for me to pack it up into an organizer at the end of each session. And I haven't done any work outside of my home recently, or for a long time now. But when I was in Taiwan and Japan, this thing was exactly what I needed. Hard drives, cables, portable chargers, my travel mouse, all packed together. And I knew where everything was for the entirety of the trip. It all had a spot. The wireless charging lid is a bonus, which means that you can actually drop your phone onto it while you work. And it's just genuinely a clever design. The build is a leather exterior with a fabric interior. It has a functional separator system and places to store your notes and other items in. It's honestly solid. It's actually heavier than you'd expect for a travel organizer. So I think that's worth noting if you're considering this one. But here's the real thing about it. This product, like I said, isn't for everyone. It's for a specific version of how you work. If you're regularly in cafes, co-working spaces, or even in libraries or traveling, This makes complete sense, and it's such a functional asset to that workflow. But if you're home every day like me now, it might just sit on your shelf. It's brilliant, but knowing which type of creator you are before you buy it is what's important with the Nest. They also sent me a Crossbody Sling, and this is the one that I would have never bought for myself. And I actually told Orbitkey up front, after they had offered it, that I was looking for something like it for my wife for our upcoming trip, but not for me. And you know what? They were happy with that. So she's the one that ended up using it during the trip every single day. Something I noticed over in Taiwan and in Japan was that phone slings are actually normal there. I'm not sure if it's the culture or if it's just the trend that's going on over there, but in Australia, you don't see them. But I guess once you actually use one, you start to understand why you should use one. You don't have to dig through your pockets anymore, and you don't have to dig through your bag. It's just accessible. And depending on your phone habits, I guess that could be a good thing or a bad thing. But on top of that, it actually adds an extra layer of security. It keeps it safe. You just use an anchor that sits inside your phone case, and you attach a thick cord strap and adjust it whichever way that you want. The hardware's solid. It's not cheap. It's not flimsy. It's honestly a premium product. My wife is still using it, and that's the only review I guess it really needs. That's more than enough proof to me that it would be worth the money. And you know what? I would honestly buy her another if she ever lost it for some reason. Before I ever accepted anything from Orbitkey, I had already researched who they were. I don't always just buy. I look into the company, where they're based, what they stand for, and whether they actually deserve the purchase. Orbitkey actually started out as a small company making key organizers, like this one. And since then, it's built into a wider range of everyday carry items and desk gear. What stuck with me about them was simple. They make products that are meant to matter. They're a team of creatives based right here in Melbourne. They're local, young, and driven. And I think that counts for something. And without glazing them, honestly, I believe in their company, and they launch products on Kickstarter as well. Most recently, they announced a modular grid desk organizer. And even though it won't be delivered till September, it looks so good that I actually pledged for an order of their ultimate bundle, because I can already see the value for it in my workflow. So after all of this, I don't think that the question really is whether Orbitkey is worth the money. It's clear that I think that it is. And that's what I told my friend. The cost is the only reason that I hesitated on if it was the right answer for him. The truth is, they're premium products. They're well designed. They're durable. They do exactly what they say, and that's all you need. But the bigger question here, I think, is about something else. It's about the topic that most people avoid: consumerism. You see, we live in a time where buying has never been easier, and things have never been more expensive. And that tension is real. And where you put your money matters more than you know. I'm not going to pretend that I've always got this right, and that I also don't waste my money. I'm not on a high horse here. I've absolutely bought things just because I saw them in a video, and I know what it's like to just buy to acquire. As I've gotten older though, I've gotten smarter with my money, and I changed my perspective on what I actually see as valuable. There are thousands of smaller companies out there actually building for their communities to solve real problems, putting real thought into what they make. And then there are others that are just chasing trends and copying what sells with no real reason, I guess, beyond a margin. Where you spend your money is a vote, and most people don't think of it that way. My desk is where I spend most of my time. It has to work for me. So if something serves a real function and genuinely improves how I work, it's worth the money, even if it's expensive. But if it doesn't solve a real problem, it's just another thing sitting on your desk. This video was never really about whether Orbitkey is worth it. I've already said that to me it is. And honestly, that depends on you. It's about asking the better question here. Does this item have a purpose in my life, and can I afford it? If yes, that's not consumerism. That's a good tool. Peace.